Casper and Dennis here with Jimmy Kruder, head of UFC Adelaide, brought to you by Musashi. Jimmy, an intense stare down there at the media day. Tell us, what did you sort of see in Paul Craig when he went up to you and went face to face with you? Kind of tried to bring the heat a little bit.
You know what, it could be a number of things. Could be him trying to hype the fight, which I don't know why he needs to. We're not the main event. Could be him trying to intimidate me. Didn't work. Or it could just be him trying to hype himself up. And if he needs to do that, well, I'm sorry, mate, but you're in a bit of trouble.
Take us back to sort of how this all began. Obviously, you getting that big win on the Contender Series would have been a really exciting moment for you. What did that sort of feel like?
It was really weird, man. Like after the Contender Series, I sort of went backstage and I sat down and I started getting like a bit emotional about the whole thing, and then I sort of got grabbed up and said, "Oh, you got to go do media and all this," and then I sort of cut it. And then I was sort of waiting for that feeling to come back, and it never did. So I'm sort of thinking after this fight, when I get home, I'm just going to let myself feel that energy again.
You seem like a sort of laid-back, even-keeled, almost stoic kind of guy. Was this a sort of rare time where you got emotional? I feel like you're not the guy to always get emotional about things.
Yeah, well, it's 10 years of work paying off. Like I don't care if you're a stone. Like you're going to feel something after 10 years of your everything, every single ounce of energy that you put into something, and it's paid off. So of course I was going to feel something, but no, I sort of cut myself and thought, okay, still got to do media and stuff, and then that feeling never sort of came back. So I look forward to getting it after this.
So you haven't really been able to kind of, I suppose, sit down and enjoy it, is what you're trying to say, because after this you sort of went straight into Adelaide and you've had to focus on this fight. It's kind of, you haven't had a chance to sit back and sort of look back on it all and celebrate, because I saw some photos of you celebrating, but I don't think it went as long as you would have liked, but it looked pretty big.
Nah, yeah, we got pretty loose. Got loose in Vegas, dude. I knew about Adelaide.
How loose? Got to ask. How loose in Vegas?
You know,
Sam Greco. Is Sam Greco banned from Vegas?
Yeah, but Sam Greco's not allowed to go back. I'm not allowed to go back either. No, it was good fun. I sort of knew about Adelaide before anyway, so I didn't know I was going to be on it, but I was pretty sure. So I was just sort of keeping myself ready for that. I had to get surgery and stuff too on my thumb. So yeah, we probably had about 3 weeks just to chill out, and then got back into it. I'm not talking about, when I'm talking about getting that feeling back, I'm not talking about resting or whatever. I love to get straight back into it, but just having that feeling of accomplishment is good.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about your relationship with Sam, because people don't really know the crazy, wonderful sort of, it's almost like a movie storyline relationship that you guys have had. We first met you guys when Sam was doing some techniques for us a couple of years back, and he was already fond of you, sort of had you under his wing. When did you guys first meet, and when did you know, all right, this is going to be my guy here that's going to kind of take me all the way?
So Sam Greco has been my hero since I was a kid. Since like the first K1 fight I ever watched was Sam Greco versus Ray Sefo. I reckon I'm pretty sure even in Year 10 when we had to jot down who our inspirations and heroes are, he was one of mine.
Wow.
And it would have been about 4 years ago maybe. I think I was 18 when I started coming down to train with Sam, and my jiu-jitsu coach, his coach at the time, is really good mates with Sam. So that's how we sort of got the connection, because we were looking for a good striking coach, and we weren't just looking for a good striking coach, we were looking for the best we could get, and you don't get much better than Sam. You don't get any better than Sam anywhere in the world. I don't care what anyone says. And yeah, so I started driving down. I was driving down to see Sam. I was driving down 3 times a week, and I was driving down to Melbourne.
Long drive?
2 hours each way. So I was driving back and forth 4 or 5 times a week, working full time in Bendigo. And I think he just saw that, and he saw that I wasn't like taking him for a ride. I was actually in this for all the right reasons, and I wasn't looking for an easy way. So that's why I think that's what sort of made us have that connection early off. And then I know he's had a heart attack before a fight of mine and stayed for 5 rounds. I know he's in my corner, and he knows I'm in it. Like, he knows I'm not going anywhere. So we're just proving our loyalty to each other.
Just take us back to that night, because that is a crazy story in of itself. You're out there fighting at Hex. He's in your corner. He doesn't feel well. You don't know at the time, but he's having a heart attack. He stays for the duration of the fight. You get the win. You're in the back. I'm not sure if you guys were celebrating. He needs to lie down. And then you find out that he actually had a heart attack.
Yeah.
What do you remember from that night?
Yeah, so I could tell normally when we're warming up for a fight, we do like a duration of pads. This time it was a bit shorter, and I could just see he's holding his shoulder and he's real sore. And I was like, I knew something was up. I just thought he had a sore shoulder. Like I was like, okay, whatever. We'll just warm up a different way. And I walk out, we fight. I didn't realise at the time I got blood all over me. I just absolutely war of a fight. And I look back now and I can see his corner and he's sweating. And when I watch the replay, but he's sweating and he's pale. And as we're walking out, I went to walk to say hello to some of my friends, and he goes, "Jimmy, get the fuck back here. We're going backstage." He goes, "I don't feel well." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So we go back and he lays down and he goes off to hospital. I didn't find out till the next day that he had a heart attack.
Wow.
And that he had that heart attack before the fight started, and he stayed for the 25 minutes, well, half an hour.
Wow, what an incredible man, not wanting to leave your corner even though he's going through, a death-defying experience. You are now having your first fight in the UFC and he's hanging around you. We saw him at the media day. He's obviously getting you ready for it. What's it mean to you to not only have your first sort of proper UFC fight, but also have him along with you in this journey?
Man, I have to pinch myself when I train with him to this day. And there's a lot of guys with world-class techniques and world-class experience, but the staunchness and the loyalty and just the character of the man, it's just he's a special bloke.
This card, this sort of whole fight week has a certain vibe about it. There's so many Aussie names, guys that not too long ago were making their debut. Now they're pretty big names. You got Tai Tuivasa, you got Tyson Pedro, you got Mark Hunt, Jake Matthews. You and him were just talking a second ago. Have you sort of, because it is your official UFC debut, have you had any of those guys pull you aside, maybe give you words of encouragement, or just chat about what to expect from your debut, anything like that?
Not really. Jake and Dan sort of just gave me the it's just a fight. You don't have to put any
Dan
added
Kelly?
pressure on. Yeah.
Yeah.
No added pressure on you. They've been there 10 times. They've done it 10 times. It's good to have guys like Jake and Dan around. I spar with those guys 3 times a week. Say good day to Tyson and Ty. They didn't really say much, but yeah, no. We're all just here. We're all just here to do business. And business will be done.
Well, speaking of business, your fight with Paul Craig, how do you sort of see this fight going? Paul's obviously had some ups and downs in his career. At one point, he was going to be the face of MMA in Scotland. I'm not sure where that's at right now, but he's still quite a big name in the division. And for a lot of people, a big debut fight, not an easy debut fight for a lot of people.
There's no easy fights in the UFC. I've been nothing but respectful about Paul Craig's ability and what he's capable of. I know damn well that he's a great fighter. I'm not going to hide that. I'm just going to bash him, and I'm going to do it violently. I'm here to do a job. I have a great game plan. I know exactly what I need to do and what path to victory I need to take. And it's going to be violent. And you know what? It's up to him to see how much damage he can withstand. And if he thinks for a second that he's got me on the ground, I'd love to see his face when I sprawl on him.
I was going to say, do you think he might be one of those guys that might, you say you're going to bash him, that he might sort of be hanging around because he's known for some of his crazy comebacks in fights. Do you expect it to be a war, or do you think he'll be able to get it done fairly quickly?
He's tough if you allow him to be. Guys don't go in on him because they're worried about getting taken down, or they're worried about they don't jump into his guard. Mate, I've been in there with some of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world and held my own in straight jiu-jitsu. I've got no problem. As I said, I've got nothing but respect for his skill. I know that he's capable of subbing any man on the planet off his back. I know that he has power in his hands. There's no question. I know that I have power in my hands. I know that I've got twice as much power in his hands, and I know that I've got a great jiu-jitsu base too. So I think I've just got a better game plan, better coaches, and better people around me.
Well, as we wrap up, it's going to be really exciting to see your debut this weekend. What is your message? If you can look at the camera, people back at Bendigo, I know they're pretty excited. You'd have to be the pride, surely. Apart from a couple of possible AFL players, you have to be the pride of Bendigo. What's
Feels
your
like
message to everybody in Bendigo that's going to be watching this fight? I'm sure there's going to be a big community hall or a big area where everybody's going to be watching this one.
To everyone in Bendigo, I'm just going to go fight my heart out, and I appreciate everyone's support back home.
And a big party at Jimmy's house if everything goes to plan.
Woo!
Jimmy, thank you so much for your time. We can't wait to see the fight this weekend.
Thanks,
Best
boys.
of luck.
I appreciate it.